Hello, Internet, and thank you for joining me today. When I was a younger man, I could party with the best of them. I'd go to parties where they played beer pong, Mario Kart, or the Neil Breen drinking game that YMS made up. Nowadays, though, I've grown up. If I can wrangle a few unfortunate souls to stomach me for any length of time, I'll bust out horrified and make everyone do an entire line of coke every time a villager dies. Yeah, get on my level, scrub. Apparently, though, the new generation of kids these days are into a different kind of party game. Demonic Possession. What the fuck am I reading? Maybe it's just Australian teens, like in Talk to Me. That movie that everyone was saying was really, really, really good like 3 years ago, but I just bothered to pick up off of Netflix this year. And since my life isn't dictated by the whims of the current cultural zeitgeist or what would make sense for my YouTube channel or any kind of logic, I want to talk to you about Talk to Me. Holy shit, I'm so fucking funny. I'm just going to give you a basic plot summary because even though it's like 3 years old, I don't want to spoil too much. I will say, though, that I'm oversimplifying a lot of this and leaving out major plot details that frame a lot of the story. You'll just have to watch it to find out. Anyway, the setup to this is that these teens all have this ceramic hand, and when you hold the hand and say, "Talk to me," a spooky ghost shows up. You then have to say, "I let you in," and then the ghost possesses you, and you get to basically trip balls. It's a not very subtle metaphor for drug use at parties amongst the teens. And my initial thought while watching this was, I typically have to negotiate a price before a woman will speak the words, "I let you in." But these teens seem to have better social skills than me. Now, to undo the possession, they have to pull the hand off of the person that's holding it and blow out a candle. And then this becomes a problem when one of the kids gets possessed and they can't depossess him that way. So it starts this race against the clock where we have one group of teens trying to get the boy an exorcism before the ghosts get to orgy him to death. Now that's the quick and easy broad strokes of the plot. If it sounds intriguing to you, then I assure you this gets my emphatic 2 thumbs up rating. Or at least it would if I rated things. If that's all you're here for, then you can go ahead and click off this video. But if you want to watch me get wrist deep up in this bitch, then stick around. Alright, visually speaking, this is one that's going to be talked about for a good long while. The Filippo brothers. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name right. They are the duo that wrote and directed this thing, but they know how to let things breathe and when to just be a bunch of chaotic visual noise that really sets a confusing but relatable tone to the movie, which is important because we're talking about teenagers here, and teenagers don't know anything. That's why they record all their crimes and put it on social media. This style also lends itself to repeated viewings just so that you can catch all these little quirks and details that they sprinkled throughout the entire movie. I've seen it like 3 times, and each time I've picked up on little hints that I didn't before, and if I watch it a 4th time, I'm sure I'll find something new in it, which is an amazing feat in this cultural climate of disposable movies. You know, these wholly unforgettable experiences that you watch once and never think about again because it's all laid out for you like you're a goddamn toddler. Anyway, I'm not bitter or anything. Moving right along to the acting, I was impressed by how good the performances were, and considering this is such a young cast, that's really an impressive feat. The filmmakers did what should have been obvious to everyone in the 80s, and they cast young people to play young people. Genius. Listen, when you've seen what look to be obvious 30-year-olds pretending to be in high school as often as I have, this comes to be a very novel thing. The standouts of this cast are Sophie Wilde as Mia, who is the leading lady, Alexandra Jensen as Jade, the sort of best friend character that has double duty as our audience surrogate, and Zoe Tariq's as Haley, who is this kind of not like other girls girl. You know the one. And I just gotta say that Zoe is kind of on my shit list because A, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her name right, and B, she was an Ironheart. I haven't forgiven her for that, but she is in The Craft and that's on my list, so here's hoping she can redeem herself. I felt like I needed to highlight these performances specifically because I feel like they really give this film that special edge. I really feel like this could have gone into one of those early 2010s crunchy indie movies. Think Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist or Little Miss Sunshine. But it doesn't go there because of these characters, I think. And because of, the amazing amount of violence that's in it. And I'm always just so glad to see new, fresh faces that bring something new to a project like this. It's so exciting because now I can hopefully see them in several different projects that are going to bring new, interesting ideas to the horror genre. It also helps that these characters all come from very different kinds of backgrounds, and that really makes the world feel very lived in. And I think these actors specifically bring something out of these characters. It's a nice symbiosis, if you will. I really should do a ramble on individual characters at some point, but that's not going to fit with the style of video I'm making this month, so I'm just going to move on to my conclusions. But first, I really think I need to talk about that ending, because I really feel like I'm in this awkward position where if this were any other movie, I would definitely call out how I saw this ending coming from a mile away. But the movie is so heavily structured away from just the ending of the film that I feel the need to give it a pass and not criticize that at all. Because as much as I hate spoiling the movie by just being genre savvy, the entire makeup of this particular work was so well put together that I really couldn't fault it for ending in what is probably a pretty predictable way for most audiences. However, one thing about the ending was pretty unique, and that's that I couldn't wait to see what these filmmakers were gonna make next. Which meant that I had accidentally stumbled dick first into the best scenario, because just earlier this year, the same duo released Bring Her Back. So I didn't have to wait several years to see their next project like everyone else did. I got to see it basically back to back. But I'm going to wait to talk more about Bring Her Back next week. And so I'm going to end it here. If you like this video, go ahead and show me by leaving a like. I'm going to be making a ton of videos this month, so be sure to check back with me. Hit that notification bell or whatever YouTube's using these days. Until next time, sayonara, bitches.